2022. That's how long I've been waiting for Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander. I'm not saying we're going to be able to solve world peace. I'm not saying we're going to be able to solve world hunger, but I'm going to be fed really good when that match finally happens. Let's talk about it.
We got that and breaking news coming up here on the Market Down Podcast.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
We can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Market Down Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Market Down Podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined once again this week by James Asante. Back here to review AEW Dynamite. This was Maximum Carnage from somewhere in Phoenix. I think it was Arizona. I think it was Phoenix.
If it's Arizona, it's Phoenix. If it's not Phoenix, it's outside of Phoenix. No, just say it's right outside Phoenix.
Either way, as I mentioned, Maximum Carnage tonight. So a lot of big matches. Had the AEW World Championship match. A lot of title implications on the line in other matches. But we begin tonight with news that broke during the episode of Dynamite. It came from originally a report from Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful, as we say hello to Maria. What's going on? He reported it, and then a little bit later in the show, after as we were coming back before the main event, we actually got a graphic announcing that the Rascalz are coming to AEW in the near future. They have just signed a contract. All four men. Myron Reed, Desmond Xavier, who, if you're not familiar with him, he was Wes Lee in NXT.
Wes Lee?
Wes Lee. That's what I said. Zachary Wentz, who is also in NXT under the name Nash Carter, and Trey Miguel. So, James, I know you're very excited about this. You are very big on the Rascalz. They are a very big group. I've had some experience with them from both TNA and a little bit of NXT. But getting all four guys to come over as, once again, TNA loses another, or in this case, group of talents to AEW. But these four guys coming over to AEW is going to be big for both them and the company.
So I am thrilled with this. I am so happy. I am a huge fan of the Rascalz, who have been consistently, no matter the configuration, Trey Miguel as a singles guy, Trey and Zachary Wentz as a tag team, Myron Reed with them being a trios, or all four of them reunited. Thank you, WWE, for letting go of Xavier Desmond and completely botching him. It astounds me how they dropped the ball on this guy, how good he is, and they just didn't know how. They turned him heel, didn't know how to make him work in a world with Obafemi, and then just completely were done with him. I am so thrilled that they are going to be highlighted on a much bigger stage. Now, it's interesting because I think them being in AEW is going to be great for AEW, in the sense now AEW has a much more padded tag team scene. You could make any configuration of those four be a tag team at any point. You have a much more padded trios division. Again, any one of those three, any combination of those three could go for the trios title. And you have very talented individuals who you could put in for any one of your titles, whether it's the TNT title or the national title, whatever you want to put it. You have a much more stacked mid-card. So for AEW, great news. Where I am slightly concerned is for the Rascalz themselves. I love them. I think the Rascalz are an incredible talent. I will sing their praises to the end of time. But AEW, they are now going to be in a much bigger talent pool. In TNA, they were, I don't want to say that TNA is the small pond, but they were absolutely near the top of the card there.
Yeah, and it's more like moving from a sea to an ocean than, let's say, a bigger pond.
Absolutely. And this had to have been done rather recently because we've seen some of TNA's card for tomorrow for their debut on AMC change. We've seen some of their card for Genesis on Friday, their pay-per-view, change. Myron Reed, a member of the Rascalz, was supposed to be going for the X Division title against Leon Slater. That match is no longer happening, obviously. But it was advertised as of like a week or two.
Yeah.
So this had to have happened very quickly. I'm very tempted to make a video talking about what's going on with TNA because they've just lost a lot of talent as they're going into one of their biggest TV deals of all time.
We just saw Jake Doyle debut last week here on AEW. He was who I was referring to in the open there.
AEW in the last year and a half has taken Speedball, Josh Alexander, Jake Doyle, now what?
East Austin as well.
East Austin. Now, I don't want to say taken. AEW isn't poaching talent, just like, unfortunately, WWE isn't technically poaching talent. But it's very clear that these guys are choosing to re-sign elsewhere. And I don't know if it's because of the writing on the wall. I don't know if it's because they wanted a bigger paycheck, which everyone is allowed to pursue. But very interesting timing. Very interesting timing. And on top of that, of course, WWE has grabbed Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace, and it's very clear they're being funneled now through NXT. A lot to consider for TNA. I don't know what they're prepared to start with going into tomorrow. But, well, TNA just had the Rascalz beat the system. The system is like their A-tier, we're top of the card group. That's Moose, Mr.
Yeah.
TNA. That's Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. Like, those are old TNA reliables. And to have the Rascalz beat them clean, I'm sure TNA wouldn't have done that if they knew they were out the door.
Yeah, and you mentioning reasons maybe they want to leave, I look at also, too, the change in management. Now, granted, that happened a little while ago, but, guys have to finish out their contracts before they can go. And if certain people are upset that Scott D'Amore is gone and the new people have been brought in, maybe this is the first opportunity a lot of them are able to jump ship, and they're finally taking advantage. And I don't know so much about Hendry and Grace. They seem like they kind of just got into the WWE system via the talent exchange between NXT and TNA, and they just got so over. Yeah, that was always going to go that way. But these guys seem to be leaving on their own accord to see if the grass is greener indeed on the other side in AEW.
And we're seeing, like, we're going to talk about Jake Doyle, the news with him tonight. We're going to talk about how Josh Alexander is being propped up. Speedball just continues to get his flowers from the entire roster. Like, there was a fun segment that, came through tonight after their match. So a lot, like, I'm so happy that these talents are being highlighted. I am devastated for TNA and what that means. But as a talent-first guy, which I like to think that I am, this is great. And AEW just got, to me, this is the signing of the year so far. They've signed, in this year, they've officially signed Andrade. Andrade is all elite. Jake Doyle is all elite. And I've got high hopes for Jake Doyle. But absolutely, I think the Rascalz are so far the all elite signing of the year.
Yeah, and I think I saw Maria in the chat somewhere saying that Jake Doyle was the steal of the year, and we're only a couple days into it. As we say hi to Mr. Penguin. There we go for Maria. Steal of the year there. And I think it's possible, as you said, he did very, very well tonight and is being immediately thrust into a title situation. So it looks like, for the most part, a lot of these TNA converts, so to speak, have been pushed really well. I haven't seen too much of Ace Austin yet. I do think part of that is just the status of the Bang Bang Gang.
I think so,
and the fact there's no Jay White and they're just not at full health. So I think that's part of it. But when he is on TV, he is looking really good. So hopefully they can integrate him more, especially he works mostly on Collision Cowboys. But I do think that between Doyle getting an immediate push, Speedball being pushed fairly immediately as well, and continuing to be pushed, And now you have the Rascalz coming in. I do think that they're going to help really not only fill out the roster, but they're going to be all over the place. I think you had mentioned in the chat, they might even be on Ring of Honor just because there's 4 of them and they can just run around and, run roughshod over both companies. So I think that would be really, really cool.
We got a mess of comments. Let's
a whole lot of people.
Everybody, how are you? We see you. We acknowledge you.
So say hello to it really quick. Real quick note on the spotlights because he brought it up, and it was something I did want to mention. I very much liked the venue tonight. I think it was some sort of concert hall, probably especially one for like orchestras and stuff, considering there was the curved end where the seats were. So I think that was more of a pit, which would explain the spotlights. It was for the concert onto the stage. So they were probably weirdly angled. They're probably not used to having cameras at those angles. And that's what kind of led to all of those J.J. Abrams-esque shots. Maria's very good show tonight. Fantastic news about the Rascalz. I agree. Hey, Matt's here. What's going on, Matt? Not liking the Desmond Xavier, haircut, saying you should.
You did.
Oh, I did. With Wesley.
Yep, Mr. Les Wee.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're dehydrated. It's saying that WWE throwing away talent would never happen.
Tony Storm.
Maria thinks that the Rascalz should debut winning the tag team championships.
All right, my nips are all abuzz right now. I would love that, but I don't think AEW should do that. See, AEW, unfortunately, has a very familiar formula when it comes to debuting talent. They come in hot right away. They win a big, big match right out the gate. Win maybe another match or two. They immediately get a title shot, and then they lose. And then they're sort of just integrated properly into the roster. I don't like it. I really don't like it because you immediately sort of lose the glow out the gate. But I would not be opposed to them just debuting and winning the tag titles. Like, let FTR have an open challenge, and then no matter how you want to configure it, Xavier and Wentz, or Trey and Wentz. I don't know. It'd be cool. I'd be all for it.
Wes is the one I'm going to have the most trouble with because I know him as Wes. I know all the other guys as I know it's Trey Miguel, it's Zachary Wentz. Weirdly enough, I know him as Wentz and not Carter. And the other guy I'm actually not too familiar with, but Wes is the one I'm going to have the trouble.
Myron was their member from the Indies, and he was like their indie teammate for years. But then he didn't really get into TNA until last year early. He's married to Killer Kelly, who is more than likely, or at the very least, he's with Killer Kelly. They have a child together, and who she is also very likely on her way to AEW.
Damn.
So she's officially done with TNA. It's a matter of if she's showing up in AEW or not. We'll see.
The other weird thing with this whole TNA exodus, so to speak, is like you said, like they have this big show coming up tomorrow, correct?
Yeah,
and then the pay-per-view is pay-per-view Friday.
Yep.
And they didn't know any of this was coming.
So what's crazier is when the AMC deal was announced, they put out a bunch of posters featuring their talent, and they are like great looking posters, like so and so has crossed the line. Because that's their slogan. AEW is all elite. WWE has signed this, and TNA is this person has crossed the line. They put out a bunch of great character posters.
It's not what's so-and-so doing in the Impact Zone anymore.
No. They know. They know to go away. They have these beautiful character posters. They have them for Jake something. They have them for Killer Kelly. I can guarantee you that they have them for the Rascalz. I guarantee you that they exist. So that means they were either very much under the assumption that they would have been able to hold them on, because TNA's whole thing right now is they're doing short-term deals. They're not looking to sign talents for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Like, they've been signing a lot of guys for like 3 months at a time.
Weird.
Yeah. It's why Matt Cardona is now in WWE.
Yep.
He was featured in the trailer for the TNA AMC deal. So they must have either had a sense we're going to probably be able to hold on to these guys for the beginning because they're all going to want to be on AMC. They're all going to want to be on the TV, the debut of the show. And I guess that backfired. And when you have someone willing to show you the money, go for it.
Yeah, it's so very strange, but I guess once again, it's just LOL TNA. Like, if you don't have all these guys locked up, you can't just assume they're going to stay.
Yep.
Matt making the joke that maybe they just don't want a job to NXT superstars anymore.
I think that's what I alluded to before with the writing on the wall. Like, it's starting to feel like TNA is going to be Evolve.
Yeah,
that's really what it feels like.
With a TV deal or a better TV deal.
So I'm not. Yeah. Anyway,
Mr. Penguin excited to see how it goes for the Rascalz in AEW. Matt thinks they should go for the trios titles. We'll get to that in a second. Maria said Speedball got the best push out of the TNA talent. I would think so far. And again, more on that in a minute because James doesn't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
No, there's more breaking news I have to get to in a second. Fernando saying Dynamite was fired tonight and that AEW now has the best tag division in all of wrestling. I think
arguably the best booked tag division in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that WWE doesn't have an incredible tag division. They're just not highlighted.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's
the Wyatt Six has the SmackDown tag division in a vice grip to the point that we haven't seen the Street Profits or the Motor City Machine Guns in months. Like they have not been on TV in months.
We don't talk about SmackDown. Bird Dog is not doing a great job over there. I don't even. Oh, the Usos have the Raw tag titles again. I know they're not the Raw tag titles, but you know what I mean.
For all intents and purposes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, Fernando, TNA, once again, TNA is right before the AMC debut. And Maria saying AEW is stacking up talent. It is good to see. It is. But more breaking news from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. Apparently, according to him, Powerhouse Hobbs' contract expires tonight at midnight. And I put AEW, that is wrong because I'm bad at typing. Hobbs is reportedly going to WWE.
No fucking way.
According to WWE sources, they believe he is going to WWE.
They're dropping those trios titles then on Saturday.
Which would then mean tonight.
JetSpeed.
Yes, that would mean tonight because I'm assuming they are taping that tonight.
Oh.
Unless it is on Saturday. I don't know if it's live on Saturday or night, but either they are taping that tonight and Hobbs is dropping they're dropping the titles tonight, or Hobbs is going to wrestle on Saturday and then go to WWE. I will check Collision and whether or not it's live. Yeah, that is James's instant reaction right there. Absolute shock. I am very surprised. Obviously, this can change. Apparently, we have another hour before Hobbs' contract officially expires. So we could see Tony just throw a bag at him at the end of this and possibly keep Hobbs. But WWE sources believe, according to SRS, that he is jumping ship. So while there is the opportunity, James, that he does stay, it looks like he might be going over there. So obviously, instant reaction is this is a big blow for the AEW roster. It's a big blow for the Ops because they were, again, the coolest fucking faction, one of the two coolest factions in AEW. As for Hobbs, I mean, he's probably going to be pushed pretty well because he is a huge dude and he's really fucking good.
So let's talk about it really quickly because we haven't talked at all about Dynamite yet.
I know, but SRS is on fire tonight. Yeah, I mean, Fernando's like, you guys are cooking. I was like, it's not us.
We're just happy to we're like the intermediary here.
Yeah.
So objectively speaking, outside of Cody and outside of Punk, who I don't even think really counts, how many AEW to WWE guys have been booked very well upon the transition or at any real point? What?
Just Ethan Page.
Yeah, I'd say Page is a good one in NXT. I mean, Starks arguably, but that title reign was a blip, and NXT does not. The NXT crowd does not give a shit about him.
And people hate the fact that he won the title because I think Oba was undefeated or at least unpinned, and then all of a sudden Starks gets the title, I think he beat Oba, and then Oba had to win the title back. Like, it's weird. Yeah, don't burn that jersey yet.
I am on the edge right now. I'm gonna root for this guy no matter what. Doesn't matter the company he's working for, but it's a bummer. It is a bummer. But beyond that, I like Jade. Maybe now she's the women's champion, but it was a rough go of it for a year plus.
Yep.
Rusev is an afterthought. Aleister Black lost a 6-month feud to Damian Priest.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it too, like a lot of these guys were already in WWE, or at least Rusev and Aleister. Where if we're talking like just straight up AEW homemade talent, you have Jade, you have Mariah as well, and she's doing
good call, Penguin.
You know, thank you, Penguin, for reminding us. But trust me, I can't forget Mariah May. And like, she's okay. Like, she had the North American Championship and then lost it on that, fluke thing. And now they're doing a decent job riding around it. But
yeah,
it almost still
feels like I'd arguably say great job. Like, with whatever happened, they're making lemonade out of lemons there. But yeah, please continue.
Yeah, but like, even then, I still feel like she hasn't truly found her character as opposed to what she had in AEW, which was perfect. So, like I said, like, I'm not kidding when I say I think Ethan Page is the best booked and probably has done the best since going, over there. So, unless you want to count, Sean Spears, but even he's just kind of there to.
Even Sean Spears doesn't count Sean Spears.
Yeah, exactly. So
I need you to know I am not going to be fully present for the rest of the night.
I know, and I'm keeping an eye. Oh, I have the collision taping spoiler.
Please
and do you want to know?
I mean, we should ask everybody if they want to know it, because they might not want to be spoiled for what happens on Saturday.
Okay, I guess I can quickly try to do a poll here.
Guys, I am dying. I am not home right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There is a way to do a poll, or there used to be. This is why we need producer boy, but
right.
Or
if you guys want to know, let it. All right, Maria's saying tell us. It's saying tell him.
It's what you think. Yeah. Wow. This is.
I was so happy. Rev, I swear to you guys, I swear. I was like, man, I fucking love this Dynamite. I am so happy to be talking about AEW, the Rascalz. I am so happy. I'm so excited. And now I have crashed. Like, I am. Oh man. He's going to have the dumbest name.
Probably.
Whatever it's going to be, it's going to suck.
Somebody in the Reddit thread called him Motorhome Bob.
He's gonna be the new Bearcat.
Oh God! Well, that was a Vince creation, so hopefully not. But good news. This means that Hangman is now a Triple Crown AEW champion with Kenny.
How do you think this makes me happy?
Because we like Hangman? Like, oh man, I haven't seen James crash out like this since the Mets signed Soto.
But the difference is, I'm not gonna pretend. Like, Soto, we knew he was always gonna be a traitor. That didn't surprise me. Hobbs leaving hurts me, like, emotionally.
Yeah, this one hurts.
Oh God!
All right, I kind of did it subtly, but you know what? Yes, Hangman and JetSpeed officially won the AEW World Trios Championships. So it does appear that Hobbs is indeed leaving for WWE, considering the fact that they have lost titles.
I'm dead inside.
Yeah, this is a big one. Honestly, like, a lot of the guys who have left. And girls, I guess, too, you could say. I haven't really bugged me too much. Like, Ricky leaving kind of sucked. I like Ricky a lot. and I thought he could have done a lot better in sorry, Penguin, in AEW than WWE. That one sucked. Malachi going back kind of sucked because I really liked him in AEW, but he wanted to go work with his wife, so be it. Like, it didn't really tick me off. But the one that hurt me the most was Mariah leaving.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I adore her, and like, I really wanted to watch her every week. And while I understand like WWE is her dream, and I'm not going to hold that against her, like, she was a superstar in AEW, and now she's in the mid card in NXT, or excuse me, in AEW, and now she's in mid card in NXT. I mean, I think I saw Fernando saying that she's flopping in WWE. So
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Flopping might be a strong word, but I mean, the fact that I know people overuse it now, but the fact that you have a legitimate argument that the Tony Storm promo before the Hollywood ending, you can use that occasionally.
That is true.
And people are always going to force that, and it's always unfortunately going to be tied to Mariah / Blake just because of the internet and them being shitty. But I thought she would have been so much better off in AEW, and now she's over there and she's doing her thing, but it's not where she was in AEW. So that one hurt. This one hurts like that. I love Hobbs. Hobbs is my boy. He's been my boy since he got there, and now he's heading over to WWE. So I wish him luck. I wish him well, but as the guy who prefers AEW WWE and doesn't watch WWE for a lot of different reasons, it sucks that I'm not going to be able to see him on my TV every week.
I love that we are talking as if we just can't put on CW and watch NXT every Tuesday, but we're just not going to.
What sucks? I think I've mentioned this before. I bought an antenna, like old school. Well, I don't want to say old school bunny ears, but the modern day equivalent, so I could get to the CW, which is channel 11 here in New York. Doesn't come in. I got it for the Mets, and it doesn't come in.
That's heartbreaking.
It's so annoying.
All right,
I get it, but like, it's every 2 minutes. It's like watching the old like Dish Network through a storm. It just cuts out, and it's impossible. Let us pray for Porterhouse Hobbs.
Because he's the meat man. I can see them doing it.
Honestly, now the worst part about this that you say that if and when Tony finally gives us the meat match, Hobbs isn't in it. Oh, damn you, Tony Khan. You see, this is why you just have to pull the trigger on things when you still can.
I would have 2-3 months ago would have bet Hobbs was AEW for life and Wardlow was WWE bound. And now it's the opposite, and that's crazy. I don't want to say Wardlow's WWE for life, but he's sticking around for a while, or AEW for life, but he's sticking around for a while,
I guess.
Oh man, let's just finish the comments and then let's just go. I need to be happy again.
Hi Tyler, I see you in there. We'll get to you in a second. Well, when you do your last thing. So everyone's just upset. But Upset the Rumble could be cool.
Tyler says he's got breaking news for us, but I think we might have already broken the news.
Yeah, between the Rascalz and now this. Maria's saying this really sucks. It doesn't want it to be true. The Penguin wanted Hobbs in AEW, obviously. Maria's saying Tony Khan sucks at booking big men. He fumbled another one.
I am inclined to agree to a point. Like, Joe is like the outlier.
Outlier?
I think both work. It's
Okay.
like saying like via or via, Anyway.
I just never heard that before.
Like outside of Joe, he's never really booked a big guy to go far. Archer was always the Jake the Snake of AEW. Wardlow obviously did not know how to book Wardlow with that TNT title.
Yeah.
Brian Cage, nothing. So yeah, it is definitely a thing that Tony doesn't seem to have been really able to capitalize. Big Bill
does well, but yeah, he doesn't like capitalize on him. I think maybe the best booked guy they have is arguably Bobby Lashley in terms of.
But I wouldn't even consider Bobby a big Like Bobby's a body guy, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's not like a giant.
Yeah, he's in the meat match, but he's
Yeah,
a different
yeah.
he's a different type of meat.
Yeah, that's
He's a much leaner meat.
That's a much leaner meat.
Yeah, he's a filet mignon as opposed to a porterhouse.
Arguably, the best person who might be on the up and up push wise, big guy wise, is Brody. Both Brodys, I guess. Brody Lee was treated very well, and Brody King, God willing.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Maria's saying the grass isn't always greener. Penguin throwing out Hobbs versus Oba. That sounds like it's going to be good.
It'll be great.
Yeah, it's just. Oh, well. Maria happy JetSpeed finally got titles. I am as well. I'm very happy for JetSpeed. Very happy Hangman takes everything from Joe. It's good comeuppance for him. But also, too, he is now, as I mentioned, Triple Crown champion, which is nice. It just comes in this way, which sucks.
At what cost?
Yeah.
At what goddamn cost?
Mr. Penguin pointing out that Ricky was a CM Punk guy. He's also a big Cody guy as well. So politics for him in AEW, maybe not great, but also I think that led to him going to WWE just because he wanted to go with those guys.
It was clear he wanted to go.
Yeah.
This is the big one from Eric. CMLL announced that Mascara Dorada and Persephone now have dual contracts with CMLL and AEW. AEW continuing this trend of having guys and gals be under multiple contracts with companies. So this is huge. Persephone getting more reps on AEW TV is going to do wonders for her. The little we've seen of her, she's very much shown up and shown out. And Mascara Dorada has pretty much delivered every time we've seen him. So great padding. Tony is being very aggressive in 2026. But like I listed them off before, but Andrade, Jake Doyle, the Rascalz, now Persephone and Dorada. Like if he's losing talent, he's going to try and replace them real quick. So that's cool.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up, but I got distracted by this most recent breaking news. But yeah, I agree. Locking down Dorada to a contract, he was great in the C2. He looked really cool. So I was very happy that they locked him up. And Persephone, when we've seen her in AEW, she's done very well. I think mostly we've seen her go against Mercedes Moné in a lot of instances, whether it was for the TBS or one of the CML titles that Mercedes has. So good to lock everybody down there as well. To hit everything else back up, it's agreeing with Maria that the bright side of things is Speedball getting a title.
I don't care. Not right now. Not in this moment. I do not care. Yeah. I'll be happy tomorrow for them, but not right now.
Telling me to try the Fire Stick side apps. I know I can get Channel 11 the other way. I actually can get Met Games online with my cable login. It's just I bought the antenna, so I didn't have to do that, and it's annoying. Works really well for 2, 4, and 5, though.
It's the principle. I understand.
Yeah. Channel 7 doesn't come in either. Very weird. Mr. Penguin telling Tony to not fumble Megan Bayne. I think she's locked up for a little while, so...
Yeah, she's going to be good. I think he's saying more with the booking.
Yes, I agree.
I love Megan. We are big fans of Megan Bayne here on the podcast, but we've all kind of admitted, as great as she has been and as great as she is, it's still clear that she is developing. She's a young talent who is still somewhat green. So I get keeping her mostly on Collision, except for very big things right now. I get keeping her on Collision to just get those reps in. Megan Bayne is a matter of when, not a matter of if.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Give it some time.
Especially considering what we'll talk about later, but I do think in terms of the newer signees on the women's side from last year, Thekla is a little more ready-made in terms of going after titles as opposed to Bayne. And Bayne came in, she got a huge push. She went after Toni Storm. Tony barely escaped her, and she's still booked very strong. But like you said, I think she's still kind of getting a little bit up to speed. Maria saying that AEW losing Santana hurt her a lot. I agree. I'm a big fan of Santana. I was a big fan of Proud and Powerful together, but he's doing great in TNA. So, I'm upset he's not in AEW, but I'm happy with the work he's doing and the success he has over there. Let's see. Saying the contract thing is good for wrestlers and fans long term. I agree. I think James Gunther is going to retire.
I don't know what I've done. I am here being a friend to all, a fellow Mark. I don't need this type of hate right now in my life. Thank you, Penguin. Rude.
Nick Foreman over on Facebook. James, in terms of Bane, is it her wrestling or her gimmick that you think is holding Bane back a little bit at the moment?
I think the gimmick is championship material. I think the wrestling is there. Obviously, everyone could always get reps in and get a little bit better. I think realistically, she needs to work on her presence a little bit more. She's not great on a mic. She's not terrible. Like, I've heard worse, obviously, but she definitely needs the reps in there. And there's a big difference. And it sounds so old man to say, but it's the truth. There's a big difference between wrestling for an indie crowd and wrestling for TV. And we know she could wrestle for an indie crowd. We know she knows how to get a live audience popping, but presenting herself on TV is still being worked on, in my opinion. So again, huge fan of Bane. I'm ready for her to blow up like that. We're going to talk about the women's situation in a little bit when we get to their match, the one segment of the night. But when, not if, when.
Yeah, I agree.
Maria's saying she thinks Bane is ready now. I think she's got enough that if they want to put the title on her or a title on her, they can. Like, Jade Cargill was a lot greener than Megan Bane was when they put the TBS title on her. So I think you could develop with a title too.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to it.
Like, I could see her maybe beating Willow for the TBS at some point in the future.
Me too.
That I think makes a lot of sense because she's one of the few women on the roster who can match Willow.
I would be more inclined to have her and Ford win the tag titles. That way she's still protected by Ford for a little bit. Then when they drop the tag titles, go straight for the TBS or the world title.
Yeah, I think that makes sense as well. It really just depends on Ford's injury and when she's back. Because Marina's there, but I don't know if they want them to win something together.
Yeah.
That's a lot of promo stuff. You got to work there.
All right. I actually disagree. I think Marina Shafir has become one of the best women's promos in wrestling right now.
She just doesn't talk a lot.
But when she does,
yeah,
amazing. I don't know how she is with a live mic in front of a live crowd, but when she's doing these backstage bits, oh my God, she is amazing.
Well, that's my thing, considering that she doesn't talk too much and Bane doesn't talk too much either. You know, you need somebody who can talk, and Ford is there, but she's really more with Bane than Shafir. So, yeah, it would be a little confusing. One last thing for Mr. Penguin. Santana's success in TNA is deserved. Wish he had that in AEW, but even he said he had the issues with Ortiz. And yeah, they just had a difference of opinion on where they wanted to go. And
I will never have an issue with a guy saying, I have a vision for myself and my career, and it doesn't align with the company I'm with. And that was 100% the case for Santana. He had a vision for himself that AEW at that point did not match. So I didn't like how he went about it. It sounded a little whiny on his way out of AEW, but he earned all of that respect with me. We're big New York guys, obviously. So Hog, House of Glory, him as the House of Glory champion, he put in the work. His time in TNA has been incredible. My only issue is, I thought it was just so WWE coded. Did you see the bit with him and Kazarian on this last Impact last week?
I did not.
They had a contract signing, and Santana was talking about how the two of them were in another place together at the same time, and that place did everything it could to make them not love professional wrestling anymore. I'm like, brother, you didn't win the tag titles, and that sucks. You should have, but you were highlighted in every major match.
Major match? Yeah, no, I agree. They were in really good spots. And yes, they should have won the tag titles, but there was a lot of teams back in those early days of AEW that should have won the tag titles. Frankie and CD included. I know Frankie did get a tag run with Scorpio, but Best Friends was going to be my other example. So
Dark Order.
Yep. There's so many of those OG AEW tag teams that didn't get title runs. I don't know why, but that's just how it happened.
Yeah.
One last note on Hobbs. It appears from what SRS has been saying on his post Dynamite show. Happy you're here and not there though, guys. Apparently that Hobbs was offered money, a contract to resign, but he chose to leave instead, which would imply that he's getting a bag from WWE. And it also appears that he might be going to the main roster.
Oh, all right. I would love that. Keep him. I know we were saying, and on some level, I want to see that match eventually. Keep him away from Oba, though.
Yes, like whoever.
Don't undercut either of them.
If you want to do it this way, because I can see Oba not coming up till the Rumble, and they just keep doing these vignettes. If you have them in the Rumble together, you get that cool stare down, and then one's on Raw and one's on SmackDown, and you keep them away from each other. That's how you do it. Because then you tease that, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
You make me feel better. You make me feel better. Thank you, pal.
Like, there's cool matchups in WWE for Hobbs. It's just,
I just don't want them.
Yeah, I don't want them. Yeah,
wasn't he also a Nightmare Factory guy?
I believe so.
I mean,
I think he started there a little bit, but he wasn't a Nightmare Factory guy in terms of like he was on TV as one. Yeah. But I think he did train there.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Okay. So guys, I need to point out this comment because Mr. Penguin speaks to my soul. Renee is the leader of the Death Riders. Need RJ to expose her already. There are dozens of us, Rev, who see the truth. We see it. It's coming. The Renee Paquette downfall is coming. Character-wise, kayfabe-wise. We love you, Renee. You're our favorite. We love you. But kayfabe-wise, I see right through you. Right through you. All right.
Hey, James, did you know there was also an episode of Dynamite tonight?
I don't know.
You want to talk about some of it?
You guys are overestimating Hobbs, thinking he'll be in the Rumble or that people will even know who he is. Well, again, we're basing this off of the report, which is he's supposedly going straight to the main roster.
Yeah, that's it. Apparently, SRS was kind of implying he didn't say it straight up, but yeah, that's the scuttlebutt.
And beyond that, we can't pretend that WWE fans only know of some AEW people. Like, obviously, there's going to be a difference between a Cody Rhodes and a Powerhouse Hobbs, or a CM Punk and an Ethan Page. But no, these aren't people that are just shocking. Like, I've never seen this person before. So I'm not expecting him to have an AJ Styles debut in the Royal Rumble, but I'm not expecting crickets either. Like, Jordan Grace from TNA had a huge reception when she made her surprise appearance in the Rumble years ago. If TNA knockout Jordan Grace can get a good response in the Rumble, I am inclined to think Powerhouse Hobbs of AEW could get a good response in the Rumble.
Yeah, and also too, Rumble crowds are smarky usually, so you have that. A and B, James, you're also responding to a guy who put the Mascota Dorada information in there and then immediately said, "I don't know who that is."
That is very valid.
So you're saying we're overestimating Hobbs? You underestimate everybody.
Yep. Renee thinks she's slick, and yes, kayfabe wise, we don't trust her, from Mr. Penguin. And you know it's saying Renee is the little finger from Game of Thrones. I love the chat tonight. You guys are giving me, like, I was at a low point, guys. We saw it. I crashed for a little bit. Quite frankly, I'm seeing red spots. But you guys are bringing me back. Thank you.
You want to talk about the show now?
I don't, maybe. What does it matter? Things are changing on a dime. So, like, we could find out that Kenny's in WWE now.
I think he's okay. He has a match next week. But let's start with the main event, which was going to be the second thing we talked about, and is now the third thing 45 minutes into the episode. We saw MJF face off against Bandido for the AEW World Championship. Obviously, Bandido won the Dynamite Diamond ring, granting him this opportunity. A, he made the most of it because his entrance gear was sick. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Somebody put it up on Reddit. And B, obviously, the 2025 Wrestler of the Year, I'm just declaring him that. I don't know if he actually won it yet. Obviously put on a great fucking match against MJF, who's one of the best in the game right now. So we had MJF re-injure and then attack Bandido's shoulder throughout the match, the one he had hurt during the tag title run. And then later in the match, we had Bandido clear the fucking barricade with a crossbody off the top rope to hit MJF, which was wild. Yep. He covered some distance on that one. But get to the end of the match. After hitting the X knee and the 21 plex, Bandido was unable to capitalize and make a quick cover because of his shoulder and just the wear and tear throughout the entire match. And the incredibly slow and then one-armed cover allowed MJF to kick out and immediately take that arm and go right into the salt of the earth. Bandido was able to pull himself to the ropes, but before he could grab them, MJF pulled Bandido back and put him in what Brian accidentally called the yes lock, and then quickly corrected himself to the label lock.
I heard Excalibur's butthole pucker when he said the yes lock. It was hilarious.
Bandido was then trapped in this, and Brian gave you all of the Regal-esque signs on commentary as Bandido refused to tap, flipping off MJF before eventually passing out, and that forced referee Bryce Remsburg to call for the bell, and Max retained his title. After the match, MJF was able to get a mic, and he said that when they said that Bandido was going to be an AEW World Champion someday, he laughed, but after wrestling him, they were right. And because Bandido is going to be an AEW World Champion one day, he unfortunately has to do this. And he immediately attacks Bandido, going after his shoulder with the title before just going and just raining down right hands to the head. MJF then gets up and pantomimes taking off Bandido's mask, but when he goes to pull it off, Brody King comes down for the save, and MJF runs off to the back like a scalded dog. And then Brody helped Bandido up, and they play Bandido's music for the crowd as we went off the air. So, James, like I said, absolute fucking banger. I saw somebody call this the TV match of the year so far, and I know we're only 14 days in, but I think they got a pretty good argument. Like I said, 2025 Wrestler of the Year against the generational talent, you're going to have a banger, and this was a fucking banger.
No, I agree. I love the matchup. I don't know when Bandido's time will be, but I feel like it's inevitable that there will be. You know, like it's going to happen. And I was saying it about Megan Bain before. It's a matter of when, not a matter of if. Let's talk. I mean, I think the spot of the match has to be when Bandido dove from the top rope to the outside of the barricade and hit MJF with that huge body splash.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I thought that was a great crossbody. Got distance, cleared the barricade. Well done. I didn't love that immediately as soon as getting MJF back in the ring, MJF is the one who gets the offense in. It's like, well, then what was the point?
Yeah.
But overall, still incredible spot. I saw something that I've seen a lot of people now saying over and over, and I don't know if I'm just fucking crazy. People are complaining about the 21 plex, that it's too situational and that he needs a better finisher. That's nuts, right?
We have spent the last 30 years watching Rey Mysterio dropkick somebody into the ropes. Like, come on. I think we can be okay with this one. Guys leaning up, him hitting the X knee and then the guys falling into the ropes and grabbing on to keep themselves up makes a lot of sense. Guys end up in that position all of the time trying to keep themselves upright. It makes a lot of sense. John Cena had people fucking wildly swinging 3 times a match for 25 years. Like, this not that situational.
I thank you. I feel validated because when I saw it, I was like,
it's wrestling.
I think we're just nitpicking, right? Like, there's one finisher in wrestling right now that I think is beautiful, but is also super contrived. But I don't want to be a hater talking about it right now. But I just love this. I love the match. I love Bandido and MJF's back and forth with one another. MJF working the shoulder the entire match was great. Like, yeah. I don't love that he made Bandido tap, or I guess he didn't make the tap. He passed out. I don't love that it was via submission. I kind of wish he had just pinned him, but it's fine. Better than a tap out for the Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah.
But I'm going to agree with Maria there. I got a little worried that King might have turned on Bandido.
Apparently, a lot of the internet was worried, and it was something I didn't know about until he came out, and I was like, he's not going to, is he?
Yeah.
And then as I was prepping for the show, I checked some of the some sites, and I was just like, wow, people actually thought this was going to happen. Like, they were really nervous about it.
See, I wasn't afraid of it once he lost the match and MJF was doing the attack. I was more afraid of he would cost him the match. But all's well that ends well for now. You know, we dodged a massive Brody-sized bullet. But great matchup. I loved. It's not fair because of how good the match was, but I loved the concept of MJF really singing the praises of Bandido. Like, they told me you were going to be a champion. I laughed it off. Then I wrestled you, and now I know they're right. That's great. And now I have to do this. Like, that's
and now
beautiful.
You're going to die.
Yeah, that's beautiful heel work. That is incredible, incredible heel work. And I adored it. And I'm sad that I enjoyed that more than the match because the match was incredible.
Yeah.
But, oh, God, just brilliant between these two guys. This was a great main event for Dynamite. Great Dynamite main event.
And I expect nothing less considering it's a branded Dynamite. The only thing I was a little surprised with, though, is the finish, not just because of what happened to Bandido, but I expected the Dynamite Diamond Ring to come into play in some way, shape, or form. And I did not expect MJF to win clean because of that. So I was a little surprised at the way he won, but I think they did a good job of protecting Bandido, especially with the way Brian was putting over his own move, but explaining why it's so devastating on somebody with that shoulder injury and why it's putting Bandido out, all the way down to talking about the nerve in your shoulder that goes to your neck. Like, it really, really helped make the situation and why Bandido ended up passing out. So I thought that was very well done.
I completely agree with you. I also want to say I am of the impression that MJF's title reign is not going to be super long. I think we're going to get a lot of defenses in a shorter amount of time. Because I arguably, I think he's going to have a match now with Brody. Like, I think that's pretty realistic to at least suspect is possible. And I don't know who takes the title off of him. I don't know if they wait till All In and it's Ospreay. I don't know if they do it in Canada and it's Kenny at Dynasty. I don't know if Hangman, probably not Hangman now because he just won the trios titles. Not that stopped them with Joe, but I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Arguably, you could do it with Swerve at pretty much any point. But I am of the belief, like, his first title reign was over a year. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that for this title reign.
Yeah. I mean, if it is Will at All In, that's still 6 months. That's a pretty healthy reign. So.
6 months, totally fine. Gives him enough time to have another memorable title reign. I think the match at All In is going to be Kenny versus Ospreay. That's what I'm sort of inclined to think it's going to be.
I will say I was checking MJF's Twitter really quick because I saw Penguin saying that MJF fired his translator.
Yeah, I watched the video. It was hilarious.
Okay, so I was looking for it on AEW socials and MJF's Twitter, but I didn't see it. I will go back and watch it after. But I did see that MJF retweeted an article about him hitting the Indies now that he's back, and that would lead me to believe he's going to hold the title for a little while, just because he's going to go around and do an indie tour. I think he's going to do it as the AEW World Champion.
Arguably.
Hopefully he comes to Hog.
I mean, even if he doesn't come to Hog, he's definitely going to come to New York.
Yeah, he'll be a creative pro.
Yeah. So I'd be willing to do that. I'd be willing to go check that out. But
yeah,
we'll hear. We'll hear soon.
Everyone does have to hero plans.
They care. You guys care, right? Come on.
To check some of the comments here, Maria calling Bandido the best wrestler in wrestling right now.
Very fair.
Like I said, 2025 Wrestler of the Year, no doubt. Mr. Penguin, excited for both Bandido and Brody's singles pushes. I am hyped for both of them as well, which is why I'm not sure Brody's going to turn on him just yet. He might, but Brody's so over as a face that if you're pushing him and you're pushing him as a face, doing the heel turn right now seems a little counterintuitive.
I think it also depends on what Tony's plans are for him. Yeah. If you plan on one day making him your world champion, let him get this singles babyface run for a little bit of time. If you don't ever plan on making him your world champion, but you want him to be a constant threat, maybe the heel turn is a good idea. But time will tell on that one. I
agree. Fernando saying Tony better offer Bandido an extension ASAP. I agree with everything that just happened. Probably a good idea. Asking when was the last time MJF wrestled on TV in a good match? Now, we did have the one in Hammerstein right before the pay-per-view when he wrestled a local talent, as Brian called him. But I don't know if that counts as a quote-unquote good match. The last singles match he had was against Mark Briscoe.
That was a good match.
And that was on pay-per-view. So I genuinely can't tell you the last singles match he had on TV.
This is why we go to cage match. You keep talking, I'll look it up.
Yeah. But that's what Brian had said during the match. So, but also very good point by Brian. MJF had only had that one singles match since the Briscoe match. So this was his first one for a while. Maria also thought Brody was going to turn and loves the 21-plex. I concur. Joking with the positioning of wrestlers for finishing moves, Tony Storm's opponent just happens to end up in the corner of the ring, and here comes the booty. Maria, with her own take on the ending of the match, saying it should have been a time limit draw. And I like the sentiment, but considering this was MJF's first title defense, I think he needs a decisive win here, whether or not it's clean or dirty. He's got to get a dub. I think a time limit draw there
I agree.
isn't the best spot. It's with me thinking that the ring would have gotten involved. He thought it was a missed opportunity. Fernando saying MJF is making Bandido into a huge star the way Ric Flair turned Sting into a huge star.
Just really quickly, excluding the Hammerstein match, his last match on Dynamite was against Mark Briscoe in June. No, in August. Where
and then they fought again at the pay-per-view?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so it's been a while. Yeah, so it's August. So yeah, that's a while.
I mean, he also was gone from TV for a few months too.
Yeah, no, I know. That makes sense. It's just it's been a minute.
Yeah.
All right, let's head back to the top of the show. We started off going to a Samoa Joe backstage promo that happened earlier in the day, where Joe said that time and tension are very precious commodities, saying there are never enough of either of them to deal with fools, and Hangman Adam Page is one of those fools. And his continued attempts to get back the AEW World Championship are an example of his foolishness. But Joe and the Ops have to go get ready to defend their titles. So what is Joe to do? And so Joe looked to the Old West, considering they are in Arizona, and he put a bounty on Hangman, and the hunter has come to collect. And in steps the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, my boy. And he says he first got a taste of Hangman 3 years ago in his first AEW match, and Page beat him like he stole something. So now Keith is going to make this personal, and it'll be time for Hangman to pay up. We then went to our first match, which saw Darby Allin face off against Pac, and was basically a grudge match because Darby needed this win against Pac and almost threatened to break Pac's ankle. Or he did threaten to break Pac's ankle if Pac didn't give it to him. Anyway, as Pac was entering with the Death Riders, we had Renee doing her sideline reporting, and as she is doing so, she is able to get on mic Pac telling the Death Riders that he is going to do this by himself tonight. So they all leave. Pac jumps the barricade, and as he is doing so, he just gets absolutely blindsided by a flying Darby Allin. And the two go into the crowd, and they start brawling through the crowd, where Pac mostly has the advantage until Darby is able to hit a coffin drop, and that forced Pac to retreat back to ringside. And eventually, Pac regains the advantage and hits Darby with the belly-to-belly suplex into the steps. And not into the side of the steps, into the actual physical jagged edges of the steps.
It was gnarly in the best way.
Darby is one of the few people on the planet, I think, who could take that bump because he is a skateboarder and he knows how to fall on steps. I honestly gotta think that. That is really, they always talk about Darby's superhuman resilience. It's because he's a skateboarder and they just know how to fall and get back up and keep going. Anyway, because of that, Pac throws Darby in the ring. The match officially begins. Going to the end of the match, after Pac hit an awesome bomb, which I think is also just a razor's edge, over the ropes and onto the ramp, Darby barely beats the 10 count, not even stirring until 9 before he gets back in. Pac, who is perched up on the top ropes in the corner, then jumps down. And as he does so, he tweaks his bad ankle.
Yep.
He
sold it for the rest of the match very well.
Excuse me. Little Deus Ex Machina there, but anyway, this allows Darby to go on the attack, going first after the ankle, and then just going after Pac in general. And eventually, as Darby is trying to hit a splash in the corner, Pac pulls referee Paul Turner in front of Allin, and he takes the brunt of the attack, and that takes the ref out. So Darby then takes Pac and gets in the Scorpion Deathlock, and Pac is tapping out, but the referee's down. So Wheeler Yuta comes out with a chair, and Darby immediately beats him up, drop kicking the chair into his face, and then hitting him with a Scorpion Death Drop. And then Darby turns around, and it's another Scorpion Death Drop onto Pac. Darby then grabs the chair, wraps it around Pac's ankle, goes up to the top, and hits a coffin drop onto said chair. Darby then gets the Scorpion Deathlock back on and forces Pac to tap out again, but this time Paul Turner was conscious and he was able to call for the bell. So Darby finally gets his win over Pac. He gets his win over the final member of the Death Riders, and we had the Death Riders come out after the match to check on Pac, but they didn't do anything.
The Death Riders minus Moxley.
Okay, now they only briefly showed them, but noted.
Moxley was there at the beginning for Pac's intro.
Yeah,
he was not there in the ring afterwards. I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was very, very telling.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
As for the match, though, James, I thought it was good. Solid start to the show. Very much enjoyed it. Hopefully, this ends the Darby Death Riders thing.
I mean, God willing, as it is, this felt so unnecessary. Like, I would have had this match with Pac be next year, where Pac could say to him, "You never beat me." Like, fine. This was just, well, we need to keep Darby doing something. We're not putting a title around his waist right now, so let's do something with him. I wasn't thrilled with how this story played out, but it was fine. The match itself, I enjoyed it enough. I'm getting worried because we've seen it in AEW. Darby can have matches that aren't extreme or hardcore or no DQ. I don't need every match of his to have some sort of weapon involved. Like, I don't want, or like this, like they do sometimes with a lot of Darby matches. Sometimes he'll attack his opponent, they'll wrestle around the ring, and then he gets him in the ring, and then then the bell rings. And they do that so Darby can get some of his extreme spots in without a DQ to be worried about. But we know he doesn't need that. Like, I go back to his match with MJF where he showed he could wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's not what we should see from him all the time. It shouldn't be. But I don't need him to just be that guy.
I got they were doing it a lot with the Death Riders because the Death Riders had taken things to such extremes. Excuse me, I had to put a cough drop in. I was dying. But hopefully, I like it more when he just kind of wrestles. Not more, but I do enjoy the fact that he is a really good wrestler and can wrestle straight up. And hopefully it's not always just, I'm jumping you at the beginning of the match stuff, because I don't want to say it got played out with Darby, but it happens a lot in AEW, and Darby is a very big culprit of it. So hopefully he can calm down a little bit and just wrestle again.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree.
We'll see what his next feud is.
We're always going to appreciate his hardcore stuff because it's exciting, but he doesn't need to only be that guy. But I enjoyed the matchup. I really loved the finish, if I'm going to be real. I thought it was goofy that Yuta came in with the chair and immediately gets knocked out like a cartoon character. It was a little goofy, but I really...
He is a cartoon character.
He's the Scrappy-Doo of professional wrestling. I love, though, that Darby was like, you brought it in. I'm going to use it. Like, I love that. I love when baby faces are willing to be realistic sometimes. And I thought that was great. So, good finish as far as I'm concerned. We have Maria saying Darby versus Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship. I'm going to one-up you there, Maria. I want to see Darby versus Ricochet for the national title.
A, that'd be good. B, Maria, somebody might die.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't want that. We don't want that.
I mean, literally die.
No, I know. We don't want that.
Yeah. And, I think Ricochet right now is he's going against Jack for the national title, but that seems like a feud Ricochet's probably going to win. So Darby would be a good next opponent.
No, I agree.
And hopefully Ricochet defends that title somewhere else.
Hog.
Yep. Okay. Our next match we came back from commercial was the aforementioned Hangman Adam Page versus the Bounty Hunter Brian Keith match that came about after Joe put a bounty out. And real quick on Brian Keith, I'm a big fan of his. I've liked him since he first showed up. His look is cool. I think I put in the chat he really liked his poncho. He's got a good character. I like him a lot. He's good in the ring. I wish he could actually collect on some of these bounties every once in a while.
I agree. You need to give him some credibility.
Exactly.
Granted, you don't do it on Hangman, but you do it.
You need him to have the credibility so that when he does try to collect on Hangman, there's a plausibility that he has a shot.
Yeah.
As opposed to him automatically just losing because he's never collected on a bounty.
I need Bill to lean into the gimmick a little bit more too. If they're going to stick together, like they have no connective tissue as far as I'm concerned. There is nothing that makes sense with these two guys as a unit. Like, we know why they're together. They were part of the Jericho Appreciation Society, the Learning Tree.
Yeah, the Learning Tree.
I thought one led into the other.
No, because the JS broke up when we all thought Jericho might join with Don.
Okay.
You're
right.
Happened,
You're right.
And then,
the Learning Tree. My bad. But we know why they're together, what got them together. But there's nothing that makes sense with these two guys being together. And Big Bill being a bounty hunter Bill is cool. Like, Big Bounty Bill. Like, do it. But I'm happy to see him on TV. He's a good talent, nice guy when I met him. I'm rooting for him.
Bill or Keith or both?
Keith. Keith. I'm rooting for him. I want him to do well. He looked a lot better in this match than obviously their first match against one another years ago. But
Maria called them the odd couple, Bill and Keith, and yeah, kind of. No, their promos together are really good. I find them really funny, but
they're funny together.
Yeah, and I don't know, how is Brian Keith overrated? I only say that just because he's not even rated most of the time.
Yeah,
it's hard to overrate a guy who's only really on Collision and probably, unfortunately, usually losing.
I'm not saying this is a guy I think should be going for a world title or something, but he could be a valuable mid-card talent, and they just don't really do anything with him.
Yeah.
So,
but let him actually collect on some bounties. It'd probably be nice.
Yeah.
Like there was the one last week with the Callis family and Ricochet on Speedball and just JetSpeed in general. Kevin Knight. Yeah, thank you. And they couldn't collect, and that's why Jake Doyle had to come in. Like they tried to collect on Collision, didn't get it. So, all right.
I agree.
Getting to the actual match, I'll just jump to the end where after countering a Tiger Driver attempt, Heyman goes to the outside or to the apron for a buckshot, but Keith charges at him. Hangman's able to avoid his strike, so Keith slides out of the ring, where he then avoids a Hangman moonsault by sliding back into the ring. And as he does so, he distracts referee Aubrey Edwards, which allows Big Bill to get Hangman in position for a chokeslam. But as Bill is positioning him, I'm presuming trying to get him closer to the apron so he can chokeslam on there, Swerve Strickland comes in out of nowhere through the crowd and wraps his chain around Bill's neck. And then eventually, after Bill releases the choke, Swerve kind of pulls him away and jumps back off the apron. And Hangman gets up there and he hits a buckshot lariat on Keith and pins him for the win. Look, good match. Like you said, I thought Keith looked really good in it. This segment wasn't about the match, but I had fun watching it. And I was glad Brian Keith was on TV, even though he couldn't collect again.
Yeah.
But more importantly for this, after the match, Hangman and Swerve got into the ring and Hangman got a mic First started by calling Keith a dumbass because it's great. Oh, it's so good.
It's a thing.
And then Hangman says that Joe isn't man enough to fight him himself. So Paige, as he said before, going to take everything from Joe. Swerve then gets the mic and says that if MJF manages to hang on to his title tonight, he's actually lost because he, and then Swerve says, no, we will be coming for you relentlessly.
Yeah.
And Swerve has a New Year's resolution saying it's been a while since he had an AEW world title around his waist. Notice he didn't specify which world title.
Yep.
And everybody wants to see that change as he makes his whose house?
Swerve's house.
Thank you. I said Run's house.
I said whose house? Run's house.
As Swerve finishes up, the music of one Kenny Omega hits, and he comes out to the ring. And Hangman has a bit of a smile on his face. Swerve has the opposite. And Kenny comes out and he says that he actually had his own time to come out and say what he wanted to say, but he thought now would be better considering that would make it 3 of the top challengers for the AEW World Championship in the ring together. And while he doesn't want to speak for anybody else in the ring, he feels like they all have something to prove. As for himself, he feels that he needs to prove that when everyone called him the god of professional wrestling, it not only meant something, but it still means something. And while he knows that he can't just snap his fingers as an EVP and get a title shot, therefore he has to win a couple of matches. So whether it be friend or foe, he is going for that belt.
And when he said friend, he pointed towards Hangman. And when he said foe, he pointed towards Swerve.
No, I didn't see if he pointed. I know he kind of
looked at them. He gestured.
Yeah.
He gestured. I don't want to say point. He gestured.
In the general direction of each man.
And even when he gestured at Swerve, the camera cut. But he definitely did. Which is interesting because they were teaming up together.
Yeah.
Against the Death Riders and everything. So, yeah.
Hangman then gets back on the mic and says that it seems with them all going for the title, they are likely to cross paths. So when they do, obviously he's addressing Kenny here, he sincerely hopes the best man wins, and he and Kenny shake hands, and Hangman gets out of the ring, his music hits, and he heads to the back. Swerve then goes up to Kenny, and the two just stare holes into each other until eventually Swerve hops out of the ring, and he leaves as well.
I was getting some heated rivalry vibes.
And then probably Kenny's favorite show right now. He's from Canada. He loves hockey.
Yes, that's it. 100%.
And as it looks like we think we're done here, the brown note of that carny piece of shit, Don Callis, starts playing. And he comes out with Josh Alexander, Rocky Romero, and Lance Archer.
I want to see the monkey's paw that Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, and just AEW in general have, where they were like, we want to keep Kenny as long as we can. And then that monkey's paw curled, and it was like, all right, you can keep Kenny forever, but Don Callis will always be involved in his stories.
I think hopefully we'll be out of them soon, but they never really got resolved because Andrade went away.
What else? So this is what's going to happen, guys. Rev, I'm sorry, I'm taking over. So Don Callis is, yeah, I'm daddy. Daddy says you can't go for the title until I'm done with you. And then he says, how about this? Josh Alexander. Kenny was like, the guy, Callis is like, the guy who broke Ibushi's leg. Kenny was like, fine, let's do it. I got some time. Let's do it. I'm an EVP. Let's do it tonight. Callis is like, daddy says next week. And so we're going to get Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander next week. And that's going to be, for lack of a better word, the tits. It's going to be incredible. But it's going to end with Kenny beating Josh, celebrating in the ring, getting jumped by Andrade.
Probably.
That's just it. And then that's going to either be the next big Dynamite in a couple of weeks after that. It's not going to go all the way to March, but that's where we're at. It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
I'm not mad.
I'm mad. I don't need Kenny versus fucking Andrade. I don't care how good Andrade is. I am not, guys, let it just be on the record. I recognize Andrade is a very good to great talent in the ring. I don't care. I don't want to see him versus Kenny. I don't need to see it. Even if it means Kenny gets the win, I just don't need to see it.
Look, I'm very happy that we get Kenny versus Josh Alexander next week. I know this is something Josh Alexander has
Yes.
been pushing for a while, and they've had some matchups together in multi-man matches, but finally Josh gets his one-on-one match against Kenny. I'm happy for him. It's going to be really good. That's it. B, next, when the Andrade match comes down, it's going to slap.
I don't think it's going to be better than the Josh Alexander match.
Maybe. We'll really see how Kenny does, though, because this is also going to be Kenny's first singles match in a very long time.
I guess that's true, too.
So we'll see how he does next week, and I think putting him in with Josh is probably a really good idea, but, just because of how good of a worker Josh is. So, look, do I agree with Maria in here that the Kenny and Don stuff needs to end, and also agree with you, James? Yeah, it does at some point, but it needs to just get to a logical conclusion, and then it can end. Let it beat Andrade and let it be over.
To give you perspective, it started when the only member of the Don Callis family was Takeshita.
Yep.
It's been years.
And now now they're like, I don't even know the word. I was going to say like quintupled, but that'd still be only 5 people.
Anywho,
Yeah.
Great question from you, Noah. Let's talk about it. Why does the crowd always get duped by the let's have a match tonight? You'd think they would know wrestling by now. The problem is it happens just enough to give the crowd hope. You're absolutely right. Almost always it leads to next week or at the pay-per-view or blah, 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 blah. But it happens just enough. Like the last major one that I could remember, I didn't even say anything. Major one does not count. Cena and Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title in Boston. Where, like, let's do it tonight. And it happened that night. And Cena won. It happened right then and there. So it does happen just at a disproportionate amount that there's some hope, but you should know better.
Yeah, especially in a situation like this where the face I guess the heel did technically challenge the face, but obviously the face was going to immediately accept. But I think moreover in AEW, there's no authority figure to come out and supersede the heel being like, I'm not doing this tonight. And then, Adam Pearce comes out like, no, bitch, you're doing it tonight. Sorry. Like, you don't really have that in AEW. So unless like occasionally like it's backstage and like Renee's doing an interview and she's like, well, actually, I just heard from Tony that you are.
So I saw a name pitched for who could play that role.
Oh, it's like the GM or whatever.
Yeah. And I want to know what your thoughts are. I saw when the time comes and the contract is up and he's available too. Mick Foley.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that a lot. I'm here for it.
I would. He has experience. He's a former Raw general manager. He's a former WWE commissioner.
Wasn't he like the sheriff for a little while too or something? Or was that just Stone Cold?
That was Stone Cold. But good memory on that. Yeah. No, I'd be all for Foley. And just constantly him being a thorn in MJF's side. Oh.
That's the number one reason I want Foley in AEW. Just all the Long Island people, but mainly MJF, because he's like, I wanted to have a match with Max. And he was just like, I had it all planned out. I was like,
piece of TV that MJF wrote.
Yeah, he was like, I was going to fall into a car and everything. And he was just like, I'm 64 years old or whatever he was at the time. He was like, I can't be doing that. Like, he was like, He was like, no. As much as I want to, no. But the promo I could get.
Oh, yeah. Mick promo versus Moxley, because we never got that in WWE the way it was supposed to have happened in NXT.
Yeah.
Mick promo versus MJF would be great. Mick Foley becoming best friends with John Silver.
I was just going to say Mick is going to join the conglomeration immediately. Him and Briscoe are going to have less teeth than the newborns. Like
Mick Foley leading the Dark Order would just fill me with so much joy.
It'd be a little funny. I do want to see him and Briscoe now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. A tooth off.
So few teeth.
Yeah.
Literally, their tooths are off.
Oh, yeah. God willing.
All right. Speaking of some more nonsensical stuff, we then went backstage with Renee getting an interview with Brody King as he's walking, looks like, towards Gorilla. And she asked him about Bandido's upcoming match and him getting the first shot at the title if Bandido wins. But they're interrupted by Jonathan Cruz, who snakes his way over. And he asked Brody to tell his, quote unquote here, masked partner to never punch or suplex him again. Brody says he'll be sure to do that because it is now his turn. And Cruz is super confused. And then Brody goes, "We're in the standby match." Cruz is like, "What?" And King's like, "We're in the standby match. I'll see you out there." And Cruz is like, "What? No, like, I'm not dressed. And this button doesn't unbutton." And he immediately unbuttons it. And he's like, "Ah," and he just runs away. And then Renee's just like, "He'll be fine." So we go to commercial. We come back. Brody makes his entrance. Cruz is already in the ring. And he's just throwing shoes at Brody as, yes, Mick Foley versus Orange. Well, not versus Orange, but just with
interacting with Orange.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The conglomeration with, come on, Willow and Harley with Mick Foley. Come on.
I mean, Mick Foley and Tony Storm. But we're getting sidetracked.
Anyway, Cruz is throwing shoes. Obviously, it doesn't work. Brody comes in, bells ring, doesn't even take his jacket off, just starts kicking his ass. Cruz, I think, got in one offensive move, which was a drop toe hold into the corner. And then he tried to do a dive off the top, and Brody caught him and just planted him and then hit him with a gonzo bomb. 1, 2, 3. God, took off his jacket, laid it on Cruz's body to cover the dead body. And then he grabbed a mic and said, after tonight, it'll be an honor to be the first to step in the ring with the new AEW champion in Bandido. So, fun little thing from Brody, but cool.
We got fired. He got a guy fired.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe he'll have to go put a mask back on or something. We then had you do know that's Serpentico, right?
Is it really?
Oh, that's why I've been making snake jokes every week. I'm like 85% certain that's, yeah, I think we're pretty sure that's it.
So I'm pretty sure he's the guy, like the famous AEW meme with Joe, where Joe does his walk away and the guy's like diving. I'm pretty sure that's him.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's him. Yeah, it's Jonathan. Yeah. It's, same guy.
That's nuts. What up, Dev? How you doing, pal?
Hey, Dev.
Doing well. Been a while.
Good to have you, dude. All right. After that quick little squash, we had a quick video package for MJF versus Bandido at the end of the night, and then we went into our four-way match. So we had the Young Bucks versus GOA versus JetSpeed versus Davis and Doyle, which just is an awesome name.
I love the look. I love the name. I love
them both going together.
Yep.
They look like they could be cousins. They're just big dudes. They have the big beards. I know they're different color. Yeah, they have they almost have the same chest hair. Doyle's just a little more jacked than Davis, but they're built similarly.
No. All right, let's be fair here. Doyle is built like a tank. Nothing against Davis, but Doyle's built like a tank. Anyway.
Yeah.
We hope you did too, Dev. We hope you had a great holiday season, a great Christmas, great New Year. Thank you so much. We definitely did.
Thanks, Dev. Okay, so we had all those guys together. Now, this was for a number one contendership, I guess, at the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And they didn't really announce until halfway through, but it was tornado tags. I was a little confused at the beginning, but whatever. It led to a lot of chaos. We also had that carny piece of shit Don Callis and Ricochet both on commentary as we once again get our obligatory cat sighting from James there. I also very much missed the Young Bucks with the cut-up shirts. So how's the cat, James?
I'm sorry. She was having a little bit of a coughing fit, so I just needed to be a good cat dad.
I am too, and I'm still here.
All right, if you want, I'll come over to you and I will pat your back too.
James, I was just saying though that I missed the Bucks with the cut-up shirts.
Yeah, no, sure. I was so enamored with the match that I got lost in some details.
Yeah, there was a lot that happened in this match, so I'm not going to go over a whole lot of it, but the number one thing I am going to say from that wasn't the finish is Speedball hit an ultimate weapon on the Bucks while they were both stacked up on Leona's shoulders because he was going for the double Samoan drop. That was wild.
That was incredible. You know it. First of all, don't need the call out. Two, I have an insane amount of animals in my home. It's not a matter of I could replace it tomorrow. It'll look like this again tomorrow.
Yeah, I know the drill. It's not even just like the animals; it's the cats. Yeah. They just jump on the chairs and they dig their claws in there and try as you may to get them scratching posts and like a piece of cardboard to do it. They're just going to do it on the chairs anyway.
So unfortunately, it's just a representation of my life.
Fair enough. All right, let's hit the end of this. So after the Bucks hit a BT trigger on Kevin Knight and went for the pin, Ricochet, who as I mentioned was on commentary, left the desk and ran out and pulled referee Rick Knox to the floor to break up the pin. The Bucks are all like, what the hell? And before anybody can do anything, Jungle Jack Perry just comes sprinting out of nowhere and just blindsides Ricochet. And that leads to GOA starting to beat him up. So the Bucks hit topes onto GOA, and they're all out there. And Ricochet starts running away, so Jack chases him through the crowd and into the back. Davis and Doyle, who are on the other side, come in and pick the bones, with Doyle taking Speedball and powerbombing him over the ropes onto the pile of GOA and the Bucks. And then Davis had Knight already down, and he just picked him up and threw him in the air and caught him to get him in position for a pile driver, and then just pile drove the shit out of him, and he pinned Knight for the win.
Yep.
After the match, FTR came out and they got in the ring and went face to face with Davis and Doyle. God, I'm gonna love saying that. It sounds like a bar.
No, it does. It really does.
And then Doyle's the first to make a move. He throws a punch, and that leads to a brawl. But then security quickly comes out, and they somehow break it up with those two behemoths in there. And FTR go to the back. So, James, like you said, this was a chaotic but incredible and incredibly fun match.
Yes.
Very, PWG, ROH-esque. I'm telling the Bucks are booking all of these matches. So, I guarantee it.
So, to a degree, for sure, but it played to everybody's strengths. So, the Bucks bucked, as they do. JetSpeed obviously coming in and hitting some very fun, high-octane stuff as well.
They jet sped?
They did jet sped. But it's the other two teams that I also need to call out as well, because I'm getting a little worried now with GOA, because Toa Liona, he went for that triple Samoan drop again.
Yeah, this time it was just a double, but yes.
Well, no, but he tried getting the third guy on too.
And Speedball hit the ultimate weapon.
Yeah. So I see it. I get it. He got over with that move. You don't got to hit it every time now. Just make sure you hit it for the big important spots. That way, it gets a pop.
Yeah.
But I'm still loving them. They had a good counter on one of the Bucks. I think it was Nick, where Nick was going for like not a springboard, but like a wheelbarrow type move. But then
Dora, and they hit the cutter.
And then that cutter was fantastic from Bishop Kaun. Just great move. And obviously with Davis and Doyle, I said it to you, and I've been saying it to you when I was hyping him up and explaining what he is. He is an incredible big man, but what makes him so special is he's an incredible big man who thrives when working with smaller, faster paced guys. So him working against the Bucks, him working against JetSpeed was top notch. It suits his strengths beautifully. And Davis, too, he is a veteran tag team guy as part of Aussie Open, and he knows how to pull those strengths. I'm very happy he got the finish, because he's been gone and he's coming back and he's reestablishing himself a little bit better. So that's great. I cannot wait for you to see Doyle's finisher.
I think I have, but I don't remember what it is.
I'm sure you've seen it in either TNA or in House of Glory. But when you see it again, when you guys all see it, if you aren't familiar with it, it's gonna be a blast. So very excited. And first match in AEW, first win for Doyle. And
yeah, I posted on Blue Sky. I was like, that is a hell of a way to not only push your newest signee. at the time,
Yeah.
but also push the new tag team you just created with said signing.
Yeah.
You're immediately not only having him get a win over 3 very established tag teams in your division, and one of them being arguably one of the greatest of all time in the Bucks, but you're also throwing them right into a title feud with probably the other greatest tag team of all time in FTR.
Yep.
So it's crazy how quickly they are pushing him. Shout out to Davis also being in this position now too.
Yeah, well earned.
Yeah, he had he had to wait, but he's back, and I'm happy for him because I'm actually a big fan of his too. So it is a great way to integrate both Doyle and the team into the division.
Now here comes my problem with the AEW formula. They're going to lose against FTR.
Probably.
So all that shine is going to go away. And it's not that they're going to feel like lesser. They're just not going to feel special. So sometimes just don't put them in this position. I'd rather see a team winning against smaller teams in the division than go straight for the titles and lose.
Yeah, I was very much expecting probably JetSpeed to win this, surprisingly, because I didn't think they were going to have a heel versus heel match. Yeah. And I was like, so that not only disqualified Davis and Doyle, who I just didn't think were going to win because they're new, but I also wasn't sure if they were going to do GOA either, despite the fact they've been really good recently. I just didn't know if they wanted to do FTR versus another heel team.
We knew it wasn't going to be the Bucks.
It wasn't going to be the Bucks because they're just not doing that against. Well, honest to God, thought JetSpeed was going to win this. Yeah. So I was a little surprised. Now
they win in the end, don't they?
We didn't have all the details at the time, but going into it, I thought that JetSpeed were actually going to get the dub here, and then you're going to get a really good match against FTR. So change of pace. We get the heel versus heel. I like it. Hopefully, it doesn't end up like you said in them, losing and then just kind of going back and not feeling special. But I think they will be. I think it seems to me Tony's pretty high on Doyle. So hopefully, even with the loss, they can go into the tag division and just destroy people for a while. And then we'll see what happens with them from there. Oh, I like. All right. After this, we came back for commercial. We got a quick backstage promo from Skye Flight. They got a big night on Collision. It's a Day of Steel's going to be fighting Marina Shafir. And then I think the men have something with the Don Callis family. I don't know if it's a triple threat or not triple threat, excuse me, a trios match, or Scorp is fighting somebody and then Top Flight's fighting a tag team. I don't know what it is. They talk too fast, but that's what happened. Wasn't that important in the grand scheme of the show. After this, we had our women's match of the night, and I was like, oh, cool, we're doing the women get one segment thing again. But all the important women were in one segment. So,
like when you have 3 championships represented in a match, it's hard to complain that they're not getting more matches. But yes.
So it was the newly dubbed Cosmic Babes of Wrath, just to continue to annoy James further, in the AEW Women's World Champion Kris Statlander, the TBS champion Willow Nightingale, who is also the AEW Women's Tag Team Champion with Harley Cameron, and facing off against Triangle of Madness, Thekla, Julia Hart, and Skye Blue.
All right, we got to address one comment real quick.
Okay, before we get into the match.
Maria saying Jake Doyle has more potential than Hobbs. I love both of those men, and it breaks my heart that they're never going to wrestle. Because that is a meaty match if I've ever seen one.
Doyle's going to be in the meat match, but no Hobbs.
Yeah, no Hobbs.
I think the difference with them is I'm not entirely sure how old Doyle is, but I think he is much further in his career than Hobbs is.
Yes, yeah.
So
further
I think,
along. Along.
Potential. I think Hobbs just had the potential to do more just because I think he's going to be there, or he's going to be wrestling longer just because he's younger.
Yeah.
That would be my thing. But maybe you think Doyle can reach higher highs than Hobbs? Maybe. I don't know. I think they both can reach pretty high, especially they could have both in AEW.
Hobbs is a tank. He's a war rig. And Doyle is a bullet train. That is, 2 big guys, but 2 very different approaches. Yeah, I saw her comment too.
Yeah, Maria's still upset at Willow.
We gotta We got to talk. Maria.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure on one of these episodes, Maria said Willow would be cool to take the TBS title off of Mercedes. So I'm going to have to go back and watch to find it. But I think so. And now here we are. All right, let's just jump right to the end of this match because we've been here a while because of all the stuff at the beginning. So Willow was going for the bait with the power bomb onto Thekla, but Thekla was able to reverse that with the Hurricanrana and send Willow into her own corner while Thekla basically kind of went towards her, but was more towards the middle of the ring. Statlander blind tagged herself in as Thekla hit the spider pose, and then as Stat started to get into the ring, Thekla was lining up for the spear. And when she went for it, Statlander, who was again now legal, pushed Willow out of the way and ate the spear herself instead of having Willow get hit by it. Skye and Julia then pull Willow out of the ring and yell at Thekla that Statlander is legal because I don't think she noticed. So Thekla hit Statlander with a massive stomp and pinned the AEW Women's World Champion for the win. Now, James, I'm going to say that the result here, I'm not actually surprised.
Me neither. I'm not surprised. Let the sisters, let the Triangle of Madness win because they're probably not taking the titles off of any of them.
Right.
More than likely. I don't mind the result. I don't like the finish. First of all.
It was weird. It was new and interesting, but it makes Statlander, in my opinion, look kind of dumb.
Wait, what did you say? What word did you say?
I also said dumb.
You said dumb too. First of all, I respect the fact that she took the shot from Willow. That makes sense. I don't think that's dumb. Why would you tag yourself in to take a move? Right.
That's the dumb part. Like,
you're just
okay, you want to take the bullet for your friend. I understand that. But and strategically at the time, tagging yourself in there is the right move.
Yep.
But I'm sorry, girl. You got to let Willow eat that so that you can win the match. I think she'll understand.
Either you tag yourself in and let Willow take it, or you don't tag yourself in and you take it. You don't do both.
Right.
That was silly. I also thought Harley was out for an unnecessary amount of time. And I also hated, you know how I feel about doing your taunt right before hitting a move while the opponent is standing.
Pose.
Her doing the spider pose while Willow was standing in front of her to then turn into the spear. Ridiculous.
Willow was staggered from the Hurricanrana, so that's
why
they
were less than 5 feet from one another.
It
was silly.
Charge it. You can't just shoot; you have to charge and then shoot.
Fuck out of here.
I don't look. I like I said, the ending I thought was a unique way to do it, but like we mentioned, it made Statlander look pretty dumb. It was very poor strategery on her part. So I didn't love that, but it felt very like Top Gun. I'm trying to figure out which point it is, but like he refuses to leave his wingman, even though he probably should, because he's gonna get shot. It's like, no, don't, like, you go. But either way, that was silly. I understand what they're trying to do, like, sell the fact that Statlander like is fully back and is friends with Willow and like she's not going to betray her again or anything like that. But it was a dumb way to do it. Even that being said, I'm here for Thekla getting this title shot. She has been ripping lately.
Yeah.
And she more than deserves it. She's unfortunately not going to win, but it's going to be a great feud between her and Statlander, probably building up to some big time Dynamite, I imagine in February.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. Happy for that. You could theoretically also then, I think I saw somebody in the chat, was Maria saying that the Sisters of Sin should get the tag championships ASAP. I don't know if they'll win them, but they'll definitely get a title shot probably off of this as well as we continue that feud. So the booking was done right in terms of winners and losers. Just the end.
How we got there.
Yeah. How we got there was unfortunate because I think it took away from a very good match. It's saying he agrees with Maria in terms of the Sisters of Sin, but he doesn't want Harley to lose her belt. I'm okay with the others losing, though. Can I also just say real quick, all these women tonight, hair and gear game on point. I thought everyone looked phenomenal.
I don't know if this is still a thing that people say, but it was on fleek.
I don't think people say that anymore, but okay. Shit was busting for real. Like
for real.
Oh God!
All right. Are we old?
I am old. Here's the. I'm aware of what I can say and can't say, even if I'm aware of what people are saying nowadays. I'm like, I'm gonna be 33 in a couple weeks. I don't think I can say that shit. All right, last thing of the night, which kind of leads into what we started the show with. We went to the stage for an interview with JetSpeed. Statlander deserves only good things. So Renee's back there with JetSpeed, and she asks them about their rocky start to 2026. But before they can answer, Swerve Strickland comes over. Swerve addresses Speedball first and says he's very happy to see him in AEW. They tore it up all over the country together on the indies. He looks forward to mixing up with Speedball and AEW at some point in the future. And then he turns to Kevin Knight. And he tells Knight that he was one of the first names that he brought up to Tony Khan to go out and get. High House of Glory. Because Knight is the future of this business. And then Swerve tells them to hold their head high. They're going to get their shot. And he heads off. And they're all just like, okay. And Renee takes advantage of the opportunity to ask Knight how he feels about being called the future of the business. And before he can answer that, Hangman Adam Page comes over. And he tells them, while they might have lost a chance at the tag team championships, they've still got a shot at the trios championships. And JetSpeed are like, what? And Hangman calls out Samoa Joe, again saying that he's going to take everything from Joe, starting with the trios titles, as it'll be Hangman and JetSpeed versus the Ops on Collision for the titles. And Speedball's like, you serious? He's like, yeah, I just made the match, but it's happening. You and me and Kim versus them. We're gonna win the titles. Okay, be ready for Saturday. Thanks, guys. And Hangman walks off, and JetSpeed just like, okay, let's fucking go. And spoiler alert, they win because Powerhouse Hobbs is going to WWE. So this was a really fun little thing that we had until it all blew up because SRS decided to get his tweet on after Dynamite ended.
Can you imagine if he had waited until tomorrow?
Yeah,
or Saturday.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, how long do you sit on something?
Yeah. I don't think he's wrong for doing it, because the contract's up.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, you wait until midnight. Arguably, maybe you just you wait until the contract is actually up. But, yeah, that was nuts.
I mean, I've seen a lot of, this expires at midnight stuff, and he had to have guessed somebody else had the story, which is why he wanted to break it.
Yeah.
But he also must have heard who was going to win. That would also be my guess. Whether he had already gotten the result, although I don't think it was taped yet when he actually, you know what? Looking at the Reddit, the order in which everything was posted, I think the result happened and then he posted it.
Okay, I can at least respect. I respect that.
Because at least on Reddit, it was the Collision spoiler for the Trios Tag Team Championship match, and then after that, it's spoiler. His contract was up at midnight and is allegedly going to WWE. So it looks like he at least waited for that. But
yeah.
Maria called SRS a jerk. I don't know. He's whatever. Being a quote-unquote insider for wrestling is weird. It's not like baseball or football or basketball where you have relationships with people and you're actually reporting on news a lot of the time. A lot of these are they're rumors and stuff. So sometimes it is stuff like this where it is contract situations, but a lot of times it's this person apparently didn't like how this went. And you're just muckraking a lot of the time, I feel like. And it just puts a lot of these people in a bad position. But yeah, James, that was a hell of a night of both Dynamite and stories and everything. I'm going to stick with the show here because I thought it was a great show. Branded Dynamites are almost always good. This one, once again, a lot of fun. That four-way was great for the number one contenders for the tag titles. The main event was an absolute fucking banger. I implore you, if you didn't watch it, go watch it. I enjoyed the women's match for the wrestling. Again, the end wasn't great, but all the wrestling was good tonight. There weren't too many promos, but the ones that we did get were very good. I think we set up some good stuff from next week. And then, so yeah, I enjoyed the episode. The chaos surrounding it is going to be the bigger story, I think, coming out of this, though.
Which is unfortunate. Like, the show was good on its own.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Of course, I'm talking about football breaking news, and I get some on my phone.
What happened?
I don't know. My brother posts a Schefter tweet, I check. Not only is he never up this late, he never posts anything. So, as that loads, James, unless you got anything else.
Well, yeah, so tomorrow, guys, we are doing our AMC TNA debut. I will be doing Gym Pack tomorrow. Please join me. We are doing a huge giveaway announced on our Instagram earlier today. If you're already following us, you just got to keep following us. Comment, watch the video tomorrow. We are giving away a TNA prize package where we are giving away a TNA t-shirt, a TNA hat, and we are giving away an autograph, a TNA autograph of star Jeff Hardy. So if you're interested, Jeff Harvey, maybe. If you're interested in winning, just watch the show tomorrow, comment, if you want additional entries, follow us everywhere. For every platform that you follow us, you get an additional entry. So if you follow us on Instagram, if you follow us on Facebook, if you follow us on Twitter, if you follow us on Blue Sky, you get an additional entry for all of that. So, and of course here. So we'll see. I would love to have you guys come check it out and hopefully win. And more than anything, just talk TNA tomorrow because it's going to be chaotic.
Yeah. Maria Santana going to win the TNA championship. A quick spoiler, James? A quick tease?
I mean, I'm inclined to believe he's going to win the TNA title, and I think they did this so he could come into the new era as champion. But if I'm not mistaken, he's not actually challenging for the title tomorrow. I think he's challenging for the title at Genesis on Friday. I could look that up really quickly. But yes. What happened?
Is there a title match tomorrow?
I'm looking all that up now. The card got a little funky. Let's see. So Genesis has Leon Slater defending against Myron Reed, which isn't going to happen. Cedric Alexander or Moose. AJ Francis versus Rich Swann. Elijah versus Mustafa Ali. The Hardys defending against The Righteous. Legging Lee defending against Danny Luna. And then, yes, Frankie Kazarian versus Mike Santana or Nick Nemeth. Oh, no. It's either going to... No. So the title match between Kazarian and Santana and Nick Nemeth is tomorrow. The winner takes on somebody on Friday, which is a little silly. But we'll see. I think Santana's winning it, but the big question is who's going to be showing up tomorrow. There were rumors about EC3. There are rumors about Chris Jericho. And I think Santana versus Jericho for the TNA World title is very, very, very interesting. We'll find out tomorrow. Join me.
Should be fun. You guys should check it out. Some a little bit more news. Nothing super breaking. We did mention Escada Dorada and Persephone signing AEW contracts to now duel with CMLL. Tony tweeted out that Persephone, Dorada, and Hechicero are also now officially all elite. So
that's awesome.
I think we knew Hechicero had a dual contract, but all three of them are now, they definitely have dual contracts, and they will be appearing in Ring of Honor and AEW along with CMLL, and they all got their graphics. So
good for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, I was just I was just checking to make sure nothing else crazy happened in the last hour.
And in all seriousness, we do wish the best for Hobbs. We want him to be successful no matter the company he's in. I'm just bummed that he's not with AEW anymore. But I am still rooting for him, and I'm still happy for him.
I concur. And on that note, I would like to thank everybody watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. We appreciate it if you liked and subscribe. If you liked the video, let us know that you're enjoying what we do here on the show and continue to do it and placate you guys. And if you subscribe and get all the great stuff here on the pod, as James mentioned, you got the Gym Pack Zone tomorrow for TNA's debut on AMC. So you're going to want to check that out and then subscribe and be entered into the contest for the TNA swag pack, I guess we can call it, including the Jeff Hardy signed picture. So you definitely want to tune in tomorrow for that and for Genesis on Friday. So subscribe for those things. Matt's been doing a little bit of Monday Night Raw along with James. So when that's good, you can tune in for a review on that. And go and check out Danny and Eric's show. They've been doing it, recording on Sunday. I don't know if they've been putting out Sunday night, Monday morning, but it usually comes out at the beginning of the week. They've been going through a lot of stuff, a little fantasy booking, but, just some more of the bigger storylines that we don't really get to talk about here on the weekly review show. So check them out. They're doing a really good job over there. Matt was on this week as well. So if you want to check out the last one, be sure to subscribe and you can see them on their show. As James mentioned, if you want to check us out on all our social media stuff to get more entries for the TNA swag bag, check out Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Links are all here in the description below. If you're on YouTube, if you're checking us out on Twitter or on Facebook, you want to follow us in some other places. Twitter is at marketdown_pod. Instagram is at marketdownpod. YouTube.com/marketdown3665. Marketdownpod.bsky.social over there. Or is it Market? Yeah, it's Marketdown Pod. Or just search Marketdown Podcast on any of your social media sites, and you will be able to find us. Final piece of breaking news, James, is John Harbaugh and the Giants are apparently going to come to terms to a contract, and he will be the next head coach of the New York Giants.
Woo.
Good for them. I mean, they're still working on it, but that appears to be the case.
Yeah.
All right. Any final things?
Let's call it, everybody. Good night. Bang.
Yeah, let's get out of here before something else breaks and we're on here for another 45 minutes. Have a good one, everyone.